Hi, welcome to Live on KEXP at Home. I'm your host, DJ Morgan from listener-powered independent 90.3 FM, KEXP in Seattle, where we stream at 90.3 FM 24 hours a day and at KEXP.org and on our mobile apps as well. And we're so happy to continue to connect you with live music as we remain socially distant and working from home as much as possible. And all of that is made possible with your support. So thank you so much for supporting KEXP. And we are so happy to be joined today by Sleaford Mods. Hey guys, how's it going?
All right. How you doing?
All right, how are you?
Good, thank you. Welcome. Thanks for making the time today.
Oh, thank you for inviting us.
Cool.
How are you? Where are you? Jason, where are you right now?
I'm at home in an office that we've just had done in the house.
Oh.
Nice.
And I think Andrew's at home too, aren't you?
Andrew, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
In my sort of bedroom/studio.
Nice. Awesome.
Yeah.
How have you been holding up during lockdown? Have you had any of that sweet vaccine yet?
Yeah, I have. I had it about
I'm booked
3
in.
weeks.
I've not had it yet, but I'm booked in for it. Yeah.
Getting
When
close.
have you got yours, Andrew?
I don't know yet, but I've got it'll be like next week. I got the call. So
Yeah.
I got the call, the letter, and the email. So
Yeah, sure.
You were alerted.
yeah, I was alerted. Yeah,
Is it a 1-round situation or is it a 2-dose?
2.
2, yeah. That's
Yeah.
Two, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm halfway in between mine as well. I get my next one in 10 days and then
Okay.
be ready to go. So that's nice. Huge congrats on your awesome new record, Spare Ribs. We have been loving it at KEXP. It's had a great
Thank
reception too. So awesome that hit number 4 in the UK charts. How has the release of that been for you? Pretty exciting?
Yeah, it was. Took us by surprise, didn't it, Andrew? Really?
Yeah. I
think we were really.
It's right in the middle of the lockdown thing as well. So it's been a strange time, hasn't it, for everyone? So that was kind of weird, so it's all social media stuff, isn't it, really?
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that made it even more important, because people were instantly looking for things to cheer them up and stuff, Yeah.
Definitely. And it did put a smile on people's faces, I think. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Put a smile on our faces.
That's good. That's the important thing. And the reception of it's been great. Were these songs written during lockdown or were they written before?
Kind of just before, wasn't it?
Yeah, just before. And then some of them we did sort of during lockdown, didn't we?
Well, it was kind of like really early on when, people didn't really know what was going on with it and stuff still. But
sure,
the lockdown happened, but it was still like,
a bit odd.
Yeah.
So,
We squeezed it in, didn't we?
We squeezed it in. It was just like business as usual, really, wasn't it? It was like,
yeah, of course.
It wasn't, we were all a little bit irked by it all, by lockdown, but by then I think we'd started to sort of get our heads around it a little bit, haven't we?
Yeah, a little bit. But as much as you can,
As much as you can, yeah.
Yeah. Was the recording completely finished before lockdown started, or did you end up reworking some of them in the meantime?
Yeah, we started in January, didn't we?
Yeah.
And
of 2020.
Before we went to Australia, and then we came back, and I think we did like another week, and then there was like another session of like tweaking it, Then it was kind of. I mean, it's always been quick, hasn't it? When we. Get together, so that's kind of about a lucky thing for us. I think that's probably why we managed to get an album out, because we do work really fast,
Bosh.
Yeah.
I think we kind of, I think we sort of concentrated on a couple of songs a bit longer than before. I don't know, really.
Yeah, I mean, there was like Nudge It kind of needed a bit of juggling around, like, but again, it didn't take. It wasn't like pulling teeth or anything, was it?
No, definitely. It was just like stretching out the imagination, and like Andrew came up trumps with that song, really. With most of them, really, just like the way he dressed them up in the end. Do you know what I mean? Kind of really pushed that production palette out a bit more.
How do you write songs together? Do you write them in tandem with lyrics and the beats at the same time? Or Andrew, do you have sort of a stock of beats that Jason then you then try and put lyrics over? How do you guys do that?
Yeah, I mean, it's like various ways, isn't it? He'll send me some stuff and then I'll work on it, or
yeah, I mean, I try and send him something that's a little bit more than a drum beat, you know, so there's a chord progression or a note progression in there for him to, like, you know, have a lot of freedom to, you know, either rant or sing or whatever he wants to do on it, you know. And then it gets embellished a little bit more, but obviously not that much because it's always quite minimal. But that's kind of what happens a lot of the time. You know, you get to that point where you think, well, it sounds great like that, you know. And sometimes it might need a little bit of a tune on it or something, you know what I mean? But that's the idea, isn't it? You know.
Yeah, I think, you know, we are quite, you know, we're minimalists, aren't we? Really, we really do appreciate.
It's what we like, isn't it? So
yeah. So, yeah, it kind of happens like that, really. You know, I kind of really like to have 2 or 3, and, you know, I sort of hold back on 2 or 3, and if he's sending me them, and that gives me time to think about them and not get too rushed, you know what I mean, and sort of spend time with them, and then after about 3 or 4 months, he'll send me some more.
Yeah. It's minimal, but it's very powerful. What does the phrase "spare ribs" mean in the title of the record and the song "Spare Ribs" as well?
Well, lots of things really, but I mean, chiefly just the idea that we're all constantly exploited, or you know, we're constantly at the whim of this structural oppression or of capitalism, of consumerism, of all the traps, social media, etc., etc. But chiefly, really, just felt a little bit like sitting ducks, really, when the pandemic started, and also the way the government handled it in England and also in your country.
Yes.
Most countries were the elephant in the room. But no,
it's been a bad time here.
Yeah, sure. So it just really did feel like they were thinking more about the economic model than they were the welfare of people, regardless of whether we were old or disabled or, you know, minorities or whatever. You know, you really felt they didn't give a shit. You know, it was all about the prevailing the capital state. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And it's interesting, too, because before the pandemic, you know, we all are so busy and we're so distracted and there's so many things that we have to do all the time that kind of keeps that rolling off our backs in a way. But how do you feel like the pandemic has been that forced slowdown and realization of all of those things that we've been through this whole time?
Yes, it's like I try to just be positive because there's so many negatives, you know, to think of. And we are really our own worst enemies, aren't we? And you try and help yourself or perhaps help the environment around you, but it sometimes seems like a lost cause, doesn't it? So I'm just trying to think positively, you know what I mean? And not trying to get sucked into the idea that this is the end of days, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, your art and your music is a positive influence in the world, and we really appreciate that. And you recorded an awesome live performance video for us today. Before we get into the first song, where did you all record this performance?
Oh, we did it at the studio, didn't we, Andrew?
Yeah.
Where we did Spare Ribs. Yeah, no, Spare Ribs where we recorded.
It's where we could get together in Nottingham. It's a place called JT Soars. It's like a recording studio basically for bands in Nottingham. This guy Phil runs it. So that's when we get together where we go. You know, it's a good room, isn't it? It's a nice place.
Yeah, it's wicked. Is it pronounced JT Soar?
Yeah.
Because I'll be calling it JT Sour. No wonder he looks at me funny when I get there. He's like. Right. Gives me a lot of love.
He never corrects you?
Well, I think he does, but I keep just like, do you know what I mean?
It's SOAR.
Yeah, SOAR, isn't it? Like soar, as if like, whoa.
Like dinosaur.
Yeah.
I guess so, yeah. I don't know what it means. I think it's someone's name, so...
It's someone's name, isn't it? It used to be a fruit and veg warehouse, didn't it?
Yeah, so he kept the same name, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's good.
Let's get into the first song from that performance. This first song is Elocution from the new album Spare Ribs. Jason, can you tell us a little bit about Elocution before we hear this first track?
It's just like in traditional vein of the lyrics in a lot of songs where it's just slagging people off, you know what I mean? Just having a go at people that you think that annoy you, you know, for whatever reason. It's just about this idea of people, of careerism and how that lurks and how people use kind of social sort of, trying to front kind of issues, like social issues that are roughly connected to music in order to sort of elevate their platform, so to speak, to appear, you know, full of morals and ever-knowing and passionate, compassionate and all the rest. And, you know, really when you see them and when you talk to them, you know, they wouldn't piss on you if you were on fire, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like just a little bit of a, you know, just slagging people off, you know what I mean?
Perfect. This is Elocution live on KEXP at Home from Sleaford Mods, and then you'll hear Top Room, both from the new album Spare Ribs, here live on KEXP at Home.
Hello there. I'm here today to talk to you about the importance of independent venues. I'm also secretly hoping that by agreeing to talk about the importance of independent venues, I will then be in a position to move away from playing independent venues. I'm no good with elocution to get myself into the institution, so I can win some donkey straw, get a frame and put it on my fucking wall. I wish I had the time to be a wanker just like you, and maybe then I'd be somewhere lovely and warm just like you. Elocution. Elocution. I wish I had the time to be a wanker just like you, and maybe then I'd be somewhere lovely and warm just like you. Hey, 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 it's a suicide mission to go online and knock the opposition, but I don't need no donkey straw, cause I weed in the corner near the stable door, and I buzz Korea Tab's death. Little one-liners, little clever shit-ass vibers in the scope that the ends of the shite have took to
all them skills, all that sewing, all that making Marks and Spencer's knickers.
I didn't mean anything anymore, and I wasn't scared of worrying about that all. When the sleeps went on, and you tried to find a signal, I ain't got one. Online food and distancing, I felt like shit. Well, it comes so quick, and all the frustration and the no sleep shit. I think I want something to come out of my phone that ain't there. Oh, fuck this, oh, send me. These roads are now the silence in no memory. Uneventful, fuck your pledge. Sod this philosophical take on. Where's your head? Where's mine too? 6 foot outside the shop in front of you. I ain't car 70 miles an hour across a car park. What the fuck for? I feel less able to make the effort. Blah. I can't be fucking arsed. All I see is desert, not desert. I miss them Paris streets and restaurants near the church. The light from the lamp outside rolls under the end of my blind, surrounds my pillar, glowing the bird. Oh, fuck this, oh, send me. These roads are now the silence in no memory. Oh, fuck this, oh, send me. These roads are now the silence in no memory. Oh, fuck this, oh, send me. These roads are now the silence in no memory. Oh, fuck this, oh, send me back. Whoa. I bowl, shoot and elicit. The scope of my language isn't very big, it's safe to say. I'm not very good at it, like mainstream, where accents sound like ravings, all perfect direct, like she's just had an Uber out to her teeth and neck. Transatlantic is the same, you gotta be really shit to come into the game. Trash tires, smash you, claw it. 300 to 400 years left of this capitalist orgy. Change the room, let's see if we can hold the climax by switching up the fucking mood. Over, it's like you paid someone if someone told you needed a new computer, cause I don't fucking know anything about them. Silly contraire, I'm a cunt. Get your wallet out, of course sir. How much do you fucking want? Playing some rough tools, no oil and no shoes off the doors, kettle on. And common decency's optional, of course. Oh, fuck this, oh, send me. These roads are now the silence in no memory. Oh, fuck this, oh, send me. These roads are now the silence in no memory. Oh, fuck this, oh, send me. These roads are now the silence in no memory. Oh, fuck this, oh, send me back. I need a call. I fill my bag and look. I fill my bag and walk. I fill my bag and look. I need a call. I fill my bag and walk. I fill my bag and look. I fill my bag and walk. I need a call. I fill my bag and look. I fill my bag and walk. I fill my bag and look. I need a call. I fill my bag and look. I fill my bag and walk. I fill my bag and walk, yeah.
All right, that was Top Room from Sleaford Mods live on KEXP at home, and you heard Elocution before that from their live performance video from the new album Spare Ribs that just came out this past January of this year, 2021. Jason, what's that song Top Room about?
Lots of things, really. Just like the heat of the moment as regards early lockdown and the frustration of it and the isolation and missing normal life, thinking about when you were allowed to go out and gig and all of the things that you see on tour. General frustration, anger, directing it at people or whatever, talking about things you see when you were queuing up outside shops for food, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Which was all very weird. And you only kind of saw that kind of shit when you watched films about the end of the world, didn't you? Yeah. And so it's like it was a little bit like that in some ways. So yeah, it's like a mixture of things, really.
life imitating art in the worst kind of ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I watched that movie about the pandemic. What's it called? There's one literally about a pandemic.
Oh, yeah. Is that on Amazon?
Isn't it called Pandemic?
Is it called Pandemic? Yeah, and it's...
What's it like? Is it any good?
I mean, I watched it at the beginning of, just as it kicked off, the pandemic. And, at the end of it sort of like reveals it. And this woman's in a restaurant and the chef's got this contaminated pig and she wants to meet the chef. So he like wipes his hands on a towel and goes out and checks around, and that's how it spreads.
Oh,
it was a bit close to the bone to like what it really is, though. That was it. It's like, well, it has been it's called a zoonotic virus. It has spread through animals, and so it was kind of spooky how they made this film before, and then it did happen.
What's the film like? Sorry,
it's a bit chatty. It's a bit like. It's classic American sleepy movie,
Right, okay, sure.
It's a great thing to nod off to.
Pandemic, a great thing to nod off to. I don't know about you guys, but I loved horror and thriller and that kind of genre of movies and TV before the pandemic. Now I find like I can't watch it. It's too stressful.
Yeah. I just find I've been watching documentaries that are far more, especially these American ones about serial killers and things like that, and they're far more dramatic than dramas. So it's left dramas like boring.
Oh God, yeah.
We Americans, we love our murder porn.
Yeah. I mean, it's just exactly. Yeah, it is. That's what it is, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of ruined telly for me now because if it's not real, like, why do you want to watch a drama version of it when you can watch the real thing?
The real thing.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's like, it's taking it to the higher level. That's another thing Americans like to do is like one up everything until it's all just too much.
There's a one recently on Netflix. It's basically about this guy who kills his wife. And it's all been collated together through Facebook videos and things like that, and then the footage from him being interviewed in the, when they arrest him and stuff. And it's shocking. He kills his kids as well,
Oh, fuck that. Oh, I saw that. Is that the family next door?
It's absolutely brilliant. It's brilliant.
I remember when that was in the news.
How they managed to get all this footage from reality and stitch it all together, I mean, that's really that was the shocking thing about it. That's the world we live in now. That
it's kind of like that Britney Spears documentary too, where it's like a slow motion train wreck where you're like, oh my God, going back to 1998, we watched her be tortured this whole time by the media.
I know,
and it's still happening. And when you see it all condensed into an hour, you're like, oh, that's
what I'm saying. That's what really hit me. It's like if something goes wrong in your life, it's all going to be a movie straight away because it's all being recorded, isn't it?
Yeah, sure.
Right.
Ugh.
Well, on a brighter note, you all have booked some tour dates for later this year, which is a very exciting thing to look forward to.
Absolutely.
How have you been keeping busy outside of recording this new record this past year? I know, Jason, you've been doing some amazing videos on social media.
Yeah, been doing some stuff to promo the album. I'll push that. And apart from that, bits and bobs, haven't we? We haven't done a lot, really. We've done a few TV bits and stuff, but generally just waiting for things to start up again.
Yeah, it's a shame with the album, really. It's the other part of, it's that part of it that we couldn't really do because of the lockdown to go with the album, which is touring,
So it kind of feels really weird, doesn't it? Even though we've done this great bit of work, it just feels kind of like an anticlimax almost in a way,
Yeah, it's frustrating,
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, I'm sure. you get all your power from being on stage and like connecting with an audience and being able to share your art and just to have it made. And people are listening to it in their homes, but to not be able to see their faces reacting to it, that's a very different situation.
Well, it's also going on social media, and you can feel, just what people are like. People want to go to gigs, don't they? Everyone keeps saying it.
Yeah,
and,
sure.
And that's what we do for a living. So it's
right.
It's frustrating on that level,
Definitely.
Yeah, we've been feeling that really hard at KEXP too, because as you know, you both came through our studios, and we usually do these sorts of things live, and having that human connection, seeing you actually play live is so energizing. I'm really glad we get to do this at least and connect with each other, but we cannot wait until those doors can open and we can have people back in our studios and go see shows.
Definitely.
Yeah. Jason, I have to ask you about your videos that you've been doing this past year. They're so amazing. You have a little sketch show called Late Night with Jason, where you have some guest stars on. Can you please tell us about that?
Well, that was just like something to try and think of ways to do some promotion online for the compilation album, All That Glue. Do you know what I mean? And I just started twatting about really on Instagram.
Something to do, wasn't it?
Yeah, something to do. Yeah, it was the start of lockdown. We were really bored. And so I just kind of just started pretending to interview people, or myself at first, and then in different guises. And then that went on to guests, like asking people to come in. And we tried to build it up a bit. And that's quite funny, really. It was quite good. That kind of worked out for a while. I think I'm really bored with it now, though. It's kind of, I don't enjoy doing it, so we've stopped doing it, sort of thing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear that. You did it for an entire year, and you offered us some very good laughs.
Yeah, and you just I've had enough of that now. It's kind of like, that'll do. But it is funny, but it has its moment, I think, and then you try and move on to something else.
You got a few names in, didn't you? So that was kind of...
Oh, God, yeah. Well, you were that. You was in one.
Andrew was a guest.
Yeah.
That was really funny.
Bobby Gillespie did one as well.
Yeah, Bobby Gillespie did one. He was really funny.
Jeff Barrow.
Robbie Williams.
Yeah. Charlie from Shame.
Aldous Harden. Yeah, Charlie from Shame.
Nice.
Who else? Like loads.
Iggy Pop.
Yeah, Iggy Pop. Yeah, that was good. Who else? Diane Morgan.
Yeah.
It did feel like it kind of like, it was kind of aiming for its own like plot on the BBC or something.
Right? I was going to say, if you got offered a talk show, would you two take it? Because I think that would be excellent content.
Jeez, I don't know. I think
better than anything that's on there now.
It would, wouldn't it? I reckon you'd be really good, Andrew, because you're quite dry, and it's like
I could be on the couch, couldn't I? You could be at the desk, and I could be like the...
You could be on the couch just sat there all the time.
Yeah.
You're the Andy Richter.
that could work, couldn't it? It could be like a living room.
Yeah, we literally just pitched it, couldn't we? Haven't we?
Yeah.
I love it. BBC, if you're watching this.
If you're watching, get in touch.
Yeah.
And get your wallet out.
Get your wallet out.
I have to ask you the Iggy Pop one. You're trying to ask him what he thinks about the new record Spare Ribs, and he's just sleeping through the whole thing. Did he ever tell you what he thinks of the record? Did he ever tell you if he likes it or not?
Yeah, he did actually. Yeah, he did. He he interviewed me on Six Music actually. He phoned up, and it was really sort of weird because it's Iggy Pop, isn't it? It's still quite weird that he likes it. The man's got so much history behind him. It's like, and he's not turned into some piece of shit either. He's just as vibrant as he ever was, and just as alert and wanting to know about new music. So, he said it was really good. He said it was an album of its time and the best one we've done so far, and we ought to be really proud of it. So I was really touched by that, yeah.
That's so cool. He's not wrong either.
Thank you.
Such a great album. And then the other videos you were doing was Baking Daddy, which inspires me because I am a baker, although you were doing very sexy baking. Are you actually a baker? Like, do you love baking?
Yeah, it's all right. I like it. I like to bake a cake. I like a cake. They're all right. If you fancy something sweet after dinner, bake a cake, and it lasts for 3 days.
Yeah.
And it's homemade, and it's not full of crap. So it's like, yeah, it's all right. Yeah, I don't mind it. Again, it's just another promo tool that kind of worked out. If you do that, you get a load of followers from it. Every time you do one, you quit in, because then you can start tatting the record, and they're like, all right. I'm like, yeah.
I know that guy. That's Bacon Daddy. Oh, I didn't know he was a musician.
Yeah, look at this.
That's cross promotion, baby.
Yeah.
Andrew, do you have any hidden hobbies that you enjoy doing?
I don't know, really. No, not really.
No.
You've been doing a few remixes, haven't you?
Yeah, I've been doing loads of music, a bit of a solo thing before, from a long time ago,
Oh, yeah? Are you putting out a solo album?
Hopefully at the end of the year, yeah. So I mean, over lockdown, I've just been buying bits of modular music gear and making loads of music, basically, because it's just what I do anyway, isn't it? So
yeah.
Hell yeah.
Literally, all of the time.
So, yeah. And it's been, beginning of the last year, it was quite good to have the time initially, for quite a few months. Yeah. So, yeah, just doing lots of that.
Great. I'm excited to hear your solo album. That's rad.
Cool.
Yeah,
Thanks.
definitely.
Yeah. Well, I'm DJ Morgan talking to Sleaford Mods live on KEXP at home. Let's get into a couple more songs from this live performance video that you made for us. The next song from the new record, Spare Ribs, is I Don't Rate You. Jason, can you tell us a little bit about that one before we get into it?
Yeah, just slagging people off again. I like it, and I think I'll keep doing it, and I don't care if it's right or wrong. I think it just felt right to use that theme on multiple songs on the album again, and this is another one of them, really. But I think the kind of message is absolutely secondary to the feel of the music, what Andrew achieved with this kind of early techno, I don't know what it is. It's sort of early, to me it sounds like early Prodigy, it sounds like early sort of techno house. It's gnarly, it's really English sounding as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean the drum loop on it's really good. It's so good, and it needed something like that kind of vocal on top of it, and the message in the vocal. I think I'm really into that kind of a mood. You know what I mean? He just served it up with that song, and he did that, and he did the title track "Spare Ribs" over a day or so, didn't you? And you sent me them.
Yeah.
You sent me them on a Saturday afternoon, and I started work on them, and I got something for both of them by sort of Saturday evening. It was that instantaneous. I think we were halfway through the studio sessions, weren't we? And we had a week off.
Yeah.
What was your approach to the music, Andrew?
I mean, that was the thing. You see, in the past there was so much stuff that I could draw on, things that I've already made. So it was good to just make a load of music and then go, oh, that would really work. And rather than sort of be really studious and go, I'm going to write a song. It's better to be more laid back and just make a load of stuff and not be so like, what's the word, anal about it all.
Yeah. Not pouring over it too much.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? And then things it's a lot better way of working because it's more enjoyable, Things just pop out then, don't they? And it's you can just claim it and go, oh, that will send him that one, So.
Oh God, yeah. I think it's just really, it's like, without sounding weird, twatty, it's quite spiritual, I think, a lot of it. It just comes from fucking nowhere, doesn't it? I mean, obviously it comes from skill that you've garnered over years and years and years, but
that's what
like,
people say, isn't it, about me, about creativity, that you are sort of tapping into like some sort of ether that's there. You're just a conduit or whatever the word is for it,
Yeah.
Every scene.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, that's okay. I was just going to say, to make something out of nothing is mind-blowing. That's art to a T. Like, it's always, no matter, how good it is technically, I always think it's just amazing when people make something.
Yeah, but people think that they've made it are usually mad, aren't they? Like Van Gogh,
Yeah.
So it's important not to be mental,
Yeah, sure. I think it's always really quite weird how when he does something, it's really in sync with what my current tastes are. It's really weird, and it's almost like he's had some notes on what I've been listening to. It's bizarre.
Yeah,
I love that.
He sent me some stuff. We've been working on 2 or 3 new songs, and they've got all this stuff in that I've really been listening to in a lot of music, away from everything, just when you normally listen to music. So it's really, really strange, and it's like you kind of almost move in sync. So that really is beyond any kind of skill set, isn't it? And so, so where's that come from? You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
It's quite interesting.
Extrasensory connection there.
Sure.
I'd love to ask, what have you both been listening to lately? Do you have a couple favorite records that you've been listening to?
What have you been listening to, Andrew?
Stuff like, got it here, I've been playing this Vangelis record.
Oh.
Nice.
Yeah, that one, China. Just stuff like that, really. This Wim Wenders soundtrack, road music. I just kind of like, because I'm hoping to move house, so I kind of like knee-jerk recently and I bought like a record case and put all my records in it. And then recently thought, and then I put a box on top of that, and so I couldn't play any records for like about 3 weeks. And I thought, and put clothes on top of that as well, so I had to move it all. So I did that the other day, and I moved it all so I could play some records, and that's what came out.
Nice.
All these, So nothing really new, But,
but I mean that's it though, isn't it? I've been listening to King Crimson, which is old, isn't it?
Yeah, right.
And what else? Soundtrack to Mindy, that horror film with Nicolas Cage in it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's fantastic. It's actually on Invader, Andrew.
Oh yeah.
You should tap Reg up for a copy.
Yes.
Sorry, Reg. But yeah, you should tap him up for one. It's
this is excellent promo for Invada. So.
Yeah. It's really, really, really good.
It's a good film. I remember enjoying the film.
Yeah, it's a brilliant film. The soundtrack's even better.
It is actually pretty cool music, actually.
Yeah. What else? Dry Cleaning album.
Oh, it's so good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You had them in, didn't you?
Yeah.
They
were literally our last
that.
in studio before we closed.
Oh.
I was going to say, when I watched it, how did they get there? When was this?
It was. Oh gosh, it must have been like super early March of 2020. They were the very last ones before we had to cancel all the rest of them, and I think they had been planning to put their album out a little bit sooner and delayed it because of the pandemic, and so they played a bunch of songs from the record that were unreleased because they were intending on releasing and then put it on pause.
Right.
So then we had them again recently for one of the live on KEXP at Home sessions.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
And it's, it's like a year and a half or a year later since we had them. So
that's fantastic. Was they touring over there then at the time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mad. That's crazy. They're getting in there early. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah,
I really like it. And I'm not really big on a lot of contemporary stuff at the minute, but really, really, really do like that album. It's great.
Yeah. It's very good.
Mm.
Let's get back into that live performance video that we promised a while ago. That was good talk, though. So this is the song "Slagging People Off" for good reason. This is I Don't Rate You from Sleaford Mods from the new album Spare Ribs, and then you'll hear Mork and Mindy from the new album as well, live on KEXP at home.
Yeah, me and Dan the Olive. What's that shuffle list on that? What's that idea? Lift up black. List up no one, list go yo. Don't talk shit, stinks po po. I don't break yo. She's up right now, that's what he said. Blokes that kiss us in the end. Blokes commercial boring twat. I don't really like things like that. I don't break out. Watch the cards, I've seen them drop. You're the everyman that's not. You're the pixel lovely table. Fuck off, wanker, famous taste. I don't break out. I don't break out. I don't break out. I don't break out. What does it all mean? What does it all mean? What does it all mean? I don't want those stars near me. I'm not fucking galaxy. I don't break out. Appropriate, make the run. I'll just look like anyone. I'll just do stuff done. It's invested like that, right run out Paul. I don't break out. I don't need no castle run. I don't want a motorsport. I don't need no horses running. I don't need no princess abseiling down the fucker. I don't break you. I don't like them. I don't break you. I don't break you. I don't break you. Do you wanna sound cold? Do you wanna sound cold? Do you wanna sound cold? Well, you don't. Do you wanna sound cold? Do you wanna sound cold? Do you wanna sound cold? Well, you don't. I don't break you. 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 Mork and Mindy, Action Man and Cindy. I don't mess about. I make them kiss each other when my mum and dad go out. No stressing, no curtain twitching, no messing. I don't hang about. I get them down and dirty, then get them falling out, then get them flirty, get them throwing plates at each other, cause that's what it's all about. I fuck off back was an oil twat.
You go too high, too low, it doesn't make a difference, I know. Too high, too low, but the system won't go. Too high, too low, it doesn't make a difference, I know. Too high, too low, but the system won't go.
Mork and Mindy, I got eagle eyes above me. I just hit it out in Beijing town and stained through kitchen mats and ass. Pheasant just hanging about. Look at the sea patch on the rocker. Old man and his brother setting about. Stinks like an old body, like mornings on the body. Shotgun lagerotte, like porn up sticking constantly. Wi-Fi's gone all low by. My arse is feeling too dry, like crackers out at midnight. I can't be arsed with a butter, alright.
You're not from round here. Crash landed about a week ago. Yeah, I feel for you, I do. The state of it is alarming, so don't presume anything. A blue Monday will someday become you. Well, the furniture's the same, but the menu's rearranged, and your jokes won't land in the same space you're used to. You go too high, too low, it doesn't make a difference, I know. Too high, too low, but the system won't go. Too high, too low, it doesn't make a difference, I know. Too high, too low, but the system won't go.
I looked out the front, outside of my window. Outside there wasn't anything nice to see. I wanted things to smell like meadows, not like hell. Dying dandelions and bumblebees. I looked out the front, outside of my window. Outside there wasn't anything nice to see. I wanted things to smell like meadows, not like hell. Dying dandelions and bumblebees.
That was Mork and Mindy live on KEXP at home from Sleaford Mods. I'm DJ Morgan talking to Jason and Andrew from Sleaford Mods. Yes. Jason, tell us about Mork and Mindy featuring Billy No Mates, who made a guest appearance in that video. Billy. That's so exciting.
Yeah, brilliant. She looked great in that as well. She really did.
So cool. I love her fading out in the monitor at the end.
Oh, it's fantastic.
So good.
Yeah, I think that was just about sort of, we wrote that really, really early on.
Daddy, who are you meeting?
I'm in a meeting, yeah. Yeah. I'm in a meeting. All right, bye.
Hi.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah, that was written, we wrote that in 2019, early 2019. Well, started to, didn't we?
Yeah, the kind of like the concept was conceived kind of thing, wasn't it, on the bus? Yeah.
It was. And
on tour.
He had this gadget. What was it called?
It's a pocket operator. It's like a little... I have it here, actually.
Yay.
It's like this little thing.
Wow, there it is.
Oh, cool.
Woo!
So you can, like, do stuff with it.
Yeah.
Nice.
And that was like
just
a little sampler one as well, and I think before we'd gone away, I've been making stuff, and like you can just hold it to the speaker and sample a bit of what you've been doing. So that loop was a bit of something else sampled out the speaker, and then mastered into a single.
Yeah,
kind of bizarre.
It was so good, and I thought we were just working on it in this dressing room before a gig, and then we left it for ages. And then when we came to start sort of collecting backing tracks, to start early stages of, thinking about what the album might look like, that I sort of, that one came up. And we talked also about the idea of collaborations as a way of trying to push the production side of things, We're not a producer-led band. We don't need someone to come in and tell us what to do. Andrew can do that. We don't need someone to master it or mix. Oh, we need someone to master it, but not mix it. And all of these things were floated around as suggestions, but we didn't need that. But we did think that perhaps collaborations might work as a way of changing the sound up a little bit.
Yeah, there's a lot of new artists coming through as well, and people that, it's kind of good to sort of give a little bit of something back, isn't it? And sort of.
I think so.
Reflect
I think
other stuff around. Yeah.
Definitely. There's plenty of really interesting artists that are largely unknown, Yeah. And if you can sort of get one in, I think it really adds to it. I mean, obviously, Billy No Mates is becoming more and more known to people now. She's sort of career's kind of taking off.
Yeah, we love her new record too.
But yeah, she really would. I thought she'd be ideal for it. You know what I mean? She's got a great voice. It's so good. It turned out to be a really, really strong tune. It's so unapologetic, and I don't care. People have turned their noses up at it or whatever, but you just can't resist it. It's so good. And the combination of all of us on there, it really did make it quite something, I thought. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, such a good song. And that one is about sort of childhood memories, is that right?
Yeah. I wanted to try and paint this dank picture. I really like negative, horrible things and misery, and it's far more interesting than some idea of utopia and positivity.
Yeah,
I think we're just not meant to be like that, are we? In some respects, we're constantly struggling with ourselves and with everything around us. So I like that in a kind of energy in lyrics, definitely. Childhood or memories, past experiences, whatever. We've got thousands of them, haven't we? And it's just dipping into the bank, to the savings account, innit, so to speak, and pulling one out. And the childhood thing was a theme that ran through the album a little bit.
Yeah, is that something you had ever explored before, or is that sort of newer territory lyrically for you?
I think so. I think we've always used things from our past, haven't we, Andrew? Things that were on TV or food or the way we talk, things that you could pull from our generation, I guess. So we've always used that, but I think I kind of directly addressed the idea of, the memories of being a kid more on Spare Ribs, more so than the rest of the albums.
Yeah, I think you kind of uncover it though, where people kind of it's not like you're just giving like a token, sort of commercial, not commercial, but like you are talking, you're putting it in a truthful light rather than giving people just these these token phrases of
sure,
sort of exposing what it was actually really like rather than just
the same old cliches.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. I think that's what people really relate to it, because it's like, no, it wasn't actually like that. It was a lot.
Yeah,
it was a lot shittier than that.
Yeah, sure. It was. It was totally shitty. So so that really is quite interesting. I don't know if I'll use it again. But it just seemed to fit for that period of time. I was kind of thinking about being a kid a lot at home, stuck in the house. You kind of fall into yourself. Whether, I don't think it was depression, but it was more so just feeling just a bit wounded. Everything was a little bit stopped, and we were also separated from each other.
You have those moments, though, don't you, where you just suddenly remember something about your childhood that was really horrible. You just remember it, don't you?
Yeah, definitely.
not that it's heavy trauma or anything, but it was pretty bad. You know what I mean? And it was,
Yeah, totally.
I think it's important for it to sort of pop up and you sort of like spend a moment to sort of deal with it, you know.
I think so. And I think you going on what you were saying, Andrew, not trying to turn it into a cliche, but to try and, because you could easily turn it into a cliche, but to try and explain it and describe it and bring it forward and communicate it to an audience in a way that is different but very true to what it was, you know. And I think I really enjoyed doing that, definitely.
Yeah. I like how you put that, Andrew, that the weird flashes of just random memories that we get. That's such a weird experience as a human where you can just be toddling along in your present day life and then all of a sudden you'll get a flash of something. Yeah. And when you're a kid, you're like, oh, why am I thinking about that?
Yeah.
And then, all this like mental texture starts entering your head and you start thinking about your present day differently. It's such a weird experience that our brains put us through.
Because it's always really good when you come out of it because you think, oh, that's not now. That's
you know, that's not now. Yeah.
Things are like not great in general, but like it's better for me than it was then.
I'm still here.
That's a good point.
You know?
Yeah. You made a great music video for that song too. That was directed by filmmaker Ben Wheatley. Can you tell us about the making of that video? Like, what was the concept behind it, and how was it working with Ben, and just all of that?
I've worked with Ben on a couple of films. Like, he asked me to do one actually. What am I saying? But I'd known him anyway because he was. I did a few films.
And now too, this music video.
But he was a fan of the band, and I'd been in contact with him for a few years, on and off. And he'd come to the shows, and then he asked me to do this thing for a film he was doing called Rebecca that was released last year. And then I just thought, you know, we were talking about who to get in to do a video. Some heavy hitter, but someone really good, you know. We didn't have a great deal of money for it, but I just popped it to Ben. He said yes straight away. You know, he was talking. The thing was, he was talking about his childhood. This is what got me thinking about asking him, and how it was. You know, he was talking about how it was quite a bit bleak, and I was telling him about mine, etc., via email one day. And then, obviously, when Mork and Mindy came to fruition, I thought he might be the ideal person for it. I mean, his films are very. You know, it's not kitchen sink misery, but it can be very grey, you know what I mean? And he does it so well. It really catches this mood of just horribleness and Englishness as well. I just thought he would be great for it. So I asked him, he said yes straight away.
I imagine doing a pop video for a film director's kind of fun though, isn't it? Because it's nowhere near.
I think he was chomping on the bit.
Yeah, it's a lot smaller project. It's probably kind of a relief to sort of do a music video than.
Definitely, because he said, he says, "Oh, I'll just come up on the train. I'll grab a few bits and come up." You know, they totally know what they're doing, don't they? And he's just like, "Yeah, I'll do it. Don't worry." Bang. He's up there and he's got this full-scale operation sorted out in 10 minutes. You know, right? I've got this idea. We'll get in an house. We'll do this. We'll do that.
That house was perfect as well.
Oh,
I couldn't believe that house.
It's absolutely perfect.
It was so dirty, and all the decor was, you know, it was all real. It was all a real house.
It was all real, totally real.
Yeah.
It was so good.
Did that house actually like remind you of your childhood house? Was that a perfect setting for it? For that mood?
Yeah. I mean, my childhood house was pretty similar size. It was like a bit more of a basic council house, my childhood house. But it was of the same era. I think the house we were in was even older than. I think mine was a 50s new build on a council estate that was done in the 50s, or definitely the 50s or 60s. But this one was a lot older, but it still had decor from late 70s, wasn't it, Andrew, to kind of early 80s.
Yeah, the two.
Yeah,
you know, like,
it was really weird.
Like it had a really dirty Laura Ashley lampshade, and, you know, that was originally like pink flowers, but it was just like
it had just
brown,
gone tobacco smoke.
Yeah.
They had that yellowness to some of the ceilings, and it was like, oh, that's fucking. I haven't seen that shit for years.
Yeah. It's funny seeing all the stuff from that era of like middle class where everybody could afford a lot more than the middle class can now. And I don't know about you, but for me, I always picture them as like darkened, and that's normal. And it's weird when people have like their furniture wrapped up in those plastic zip up covers, and then they take them off and you see them when they're new and you're like, that ain't right. It's not supposed to look like that.
No.
But people mixing their 80s stuff with their 70s stuff, it's like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Just bin the 70s stuff now. It doesn't go at all, you know.
No.
Yeah, definitely.
It's creepy the way it clashes.
If any of my mates, if you used to go around my mates and their parents used to keep their sofas still in the wrap, then they would just get the piss taken out of them so much. Just like, what are you doing?
Why would you not want to just use your furniture? The wrapping the furniture is so weird to me.
Yeah. Like, what are you going to do?
You're not going to sell it again, are you, in like 30 years or something? You know?
It's just going to go out of style, isn't it? So he's got his perfect sofa and now looks shit. It's out of style.
Yeah, exactly. It must be like a projection of like trying to control your own aging, which you can't wrap yourself in cellophane and not age for a decade, and you like do that to your furniture instead, and it doesn't work. So, before your tour starts, and hopefully everything goes as planned, it's all good, do you have any plans in the meantime now that there's sort of an end to the lockdown on the horizon? Any like small family trips or plans for the summer or anything you're looking forward to?
I'm still kind of in a
daze, I think.
Yeah. There's still a lot of fear, isn't there, really? I mean, there's India now with the third, I don't even want to say it, to sort of tempt fate, but you know, there's still, you know, I had a mate last week, you know, saying, "Are you coming to the pub on Monday, like the first day?" I'm like, "No, I'm not going anywhere.
No,
not for it." No.
Yeah, totally.
But there's India and Brazil, isn't there? Brazil's like absolutely bollocksed as well.
Yeah. But the fear with India is that it can spread over into Europe, or it is spreading into Europe, which is all connected, isn't it? You know. So,
and I don't know if people realize that these vaccines, like, it's like the flu shot. You have to get it every year.
Well, that's
it's
another
not
thing
a
as
one
well.
and done.
Already saying you've got to have a third shot, you know, and people online saying, "I've had the second shot, I'm fully immunised." It's like,
you're not. You know? No.
Yeah, you can still get it. It just won't be as bad for you.
And because where I live at the moment, I live on a farm in the middle of nowhere. I'm totally remote, which is why I'm a bit rushed to get the vaccine, you know, because I'm going to have to get it at some point, you know. By the time I have to get this one, everyone's going to probably have to have another one.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah. Well, hopefully you can enjoy some nice sunshine outside in the meantime.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a few we've got a bit more relaxed situation if you're careful, and you know, you can do a bit more stuff. You know, the vaccine does give you a bit more freedom to, you know, to be a bit more relaxed about not getting really ill if you get it or whatever, you know.
Right.
At
least people can see their family, hopefully.
This is it, you know. So, don't know, we'll see what happens. But there's talk of doing some festivals, but I don't know. We don't know. You know, the open air one's probably a bit more realistic than indoor ones, perhaps. But fingers crossed, something will happen live-wise before the UK tour at the end of the year. And we're hoping that goes ahead. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Are you making new music in the meantime? Are you always making music, I assume? I know you are, Andrew, but for Sleaford Mods specifically.
Oh, yeah. He sent some stuff over that's absolutely rip-roaring, so I'm just trying to get my head around that. And trying to see, you know, what would suit his music the best vocally, you know. So early days, just prattling about. We want to kind of leave it a little bit longer this time for the next album. I don't know if people are sick of us, really.
I don't think so.
I don't think
Yes,
so.
it's again.
These guys again, another album.
I mean, part of it again is like it's a bit, it's hard like thinking, I'll make another album that we can't tour with. Do you know what I mean? It's it's hard to sort of let go of Blur Ribs without having done that tour with it. Because it's
sure.
It's just kind of part of it, and you know that people want it, and it's,
it, mate.
Yeah, it's frustrating.
Really frustrating. I mean, I've been rehearsing trying to get a set together for whenever we play, and just pulling in the songs and the new songs off the album. Just like, oh man, I want to play it. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's bang on. You're right, Andrew. You just need to go out here and bang that album out. You know what I mean? Get out of me!
It's an important part of it. It really is. It's like even trying to talk about it, because usually we would have been like when we came to see you guys, we were in the middle of a tour, so it just has a different sort of gravity to it, everything. We're all floating around, aren't we, at the moment? It's like
we are.
Like again, it's like trying to make music. It's like, what are you doing it for? Just like no.
Yeah, very true.
It's you have to I've had to sort of trick my mind, and the nice thing here, I'm like, because I'm living with my dad at the moment until I'm supposed to be buying a house, but COVID has buggered that up as well because of no one can view houses, and the people that live in the house, it's fallen through 4 times now. So that's been frustrating since August.
Wow!
Yeah.
What? Oh my gosh!
Yeah. So.
And are you trying to look at a specific house?
I'm still waiting for them to move out so I can move in. Basically,
wow.
So it just sort of like pretending none of this is happening, and of an evening, and get a bottle of red wine and just make music, but the next day you wake up and you go on Twitter or Instagram and you just go, it's all
still happening.
It's all still going on, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
And
you can almost
just
convince
new stuff all the
yourself.
time.
Yeah, but I think it's good though. It's good to do that. I found it quite healthy to sort of kick with the fray and go, fuck it. I'm just gonna party on my own.
Yeah. Big time.
This year has been an intense practice in being in the present moment and being able to accept that you cannot change the current situation, and so you should still enjoy your life a little bit while you can, as you can.
Yeah. It's like on Twitter as well. I've just been obsessed with trying to post something positive, and people will still unfollow you for it. Because people, do you know what I mean? It's like, I've just started with this rule of like no negativity at all, but people, there's just so many haters on there that just like, oh, he's being nice,
Yeah.
Oh, he's a twat. Oh, look at him thinking he's really good.
I know. I've noticed that too, actually, Andrew. Like, my current hobby that I'm learning cheese making, and I like post wheels of cheese that I make, and when I see that I lose followers, I'm like, not a cheese fan. It just makes me laugh. It's like, what am I supposed to do? I don't know.
It's a divided world. Everyone's divided now. It's like
goddamn cheese posts. I'm unfollowing her. That's not what I signed up for.
Yeah. It's but I kind of get it though, you know what I mean? It's like people obviously aren't having a nice time, are they, if they're doing that?
They are.
I get it.
Once you sort of like deal with it, you think it's not you, it's them. It's like people are unraveling, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
I took a month off Twitter and I came back on last night and posted like a chat type tweet. And, even that was not good enough. For fuck's sake.
Yeah.
People still moaning.
Yeah.
But hey,
Yeah.
People got to work their stuff out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, definitely.
We all do it in different ways, but
We certainly do.
yeah.
We certainly do.
I back the positive posts, though. I agree with you there. I like that approach.
Your posts have been really good, Andrew. They've been
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
they've been
it's
factual
hard.
information, something to learn.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. That's all you can do in it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's, yeah. I don't know what to say, really. People just need to evolve a little bit, I think, really, don't they?
Yeah, sure.
You know, move
For
on
sure.
a little bit.
Yeah.
They should all go put on the new Sleaford Mods record.
Yes,
should do
they
that.
should, yeah.
They should do that, and they should tell everybody else about it as well.
They should. It's called Spare Ribs. You should buy it right now. It's very good.
Should get it. Get it.
Get it. Jason and Andrew, thank you so much for spending this time with us today. Really appreciate
Thank
it.
you,
That was so
Morgan.
fun chatting with you.
It's nice to talk to you.
You as well. That was Sleaford Mods live on KEXP at Home. I'm DJ Morgan. Thank you all so much for watching today, and thank you so much for supporting KEXP. You can see more of these live on KEXP at Home sessions by subscribing to our YouTube channel. We drop new ones all the time, and you can listen to our live radio broadcast at 90.3 in Seattle, KEXP.org, and on the mobile apps all around the world. And we can all just listen to some music and feel a little bit better for a second. It's going to be okay. And it is live on KEXP Home. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
See you.
Discover new music at listener-powered KEXP.org.